thanks to a wonderful franchise with Johnny Depp starring Pirates 4 of the modern world have become something romantic and even kind is funny, because in reality they were no less than, and more colorful guys today. Let's live one day in the skin of the most ordinary, a pirate from the golden age of this professions as the most powerful empire took pirates in the service. Why be a pirate was more prestigious than any civilian professions and the only one in history. Pirate states are waiting for you next. Meet our guest for a couple of minutes, Marcus Barbarossa Rashford, as well as modern comedians Pirates and Pasted. In the middle of the name's nickname, some guys, like Bartolomeo the Portuguese, was scored on. Surname and nickname were taken by native countries and cities. Sometimes the nicknames of pirates were awarded comrades. A prime example is legendary Algerian pirate Dead Head. In the nickname, no mysticism, just the guy was so bald that his colleagues thus joked about the dead wilderness, where no living thing can grow hair. What about our Marcus? He was given the nickname Barbarossa, friends for a bright red beard named after outward signs were the most common long fat man sleeper, and even hard-toothed pirates in the vast ocean family. Nickname for every taste. True, some did not bother and just took fake names like you. Piracy has no specific, a clear historical era. Pirates were always from primitive raiders on rafts to modern Somalis with machine guns, even in the famous Understand Odyssey by Homer available. Mention of pirates 3 millennia ago. Phoenician pirates plied the Mediterranean. The sea is true in the past. Their main goal were not ships, their coastal villages. Residents were captured to be sold later, somewhere in slavery. Next eras. A clear line between pirates and merchants did not exist for every marine. The merchant had a team of warriors, and if I saw a sweet boat nearby, just grabbed it and resold it. Goods if there were no nearby. Nothing suitable. Pirate just performed functions. Merchants and don't care. Made money. Even legendary Julius Caesar was once captured. Cilician pirates for ransom. It is easy to guess that immediately after paying a ransom to Caesar, personally supervised the execution of fools. Around that time piracy started be considered one of the most difficult crimes. True state fast realized that taking the service of pirates can do a lot of dirty work, leaving hands clean, while officially time of wars who knew the sea like God's pirates became a lifesaver. From here went a dozen friends to everyone: filibusters, corsairs, copiers. Translation: all these terms are coined in different countries but mean the same thing. Legalized in pirate France, Holland, England and other countries. During the war you gave the pirates instructions which ships can be attacked, and at the same time paper protecting the guys on its territory, and are happy under patronizing testimony calmly entered the state ports and replenished provisions and were very respected people. Hundreds of cases are known when pirates transferred to official work in the Navy, occupying high positions. A vivid example: Sir Francis Drake, English pirate, raided Spanish ships. Once he sent to Queen Elizabeth modest gift in the form of 2 annual income of the whole country. As a result of Francis consecrated as a lord and made honorable a citizen of England and defended in every possible way from Spain legally, are nicknamed Marcus Rashford Barbarossa. Needless birdie more low flight in the yard 1718, which considered by many to be the golden age piracy and the last one this year. Most of the pirates were destroyed, but more on that later. But for now let's talk about surrounded by our Barbarossa. He, along with his boat, is standing in a city on a sow which to this day considered the capital of the Bahamas. Marcus stopped there for a reason, because the guy is an official member. Coastal Brotherhood of 1706, United Brotherhood of Pirates, actually captured by the gods, and was considered on the sow, capital of the so-called pirate republics, which even had its own flag with a dot. View of the international law of the island belonged to England, but in fact, the British administration is gone and blows Spanish and French pirates with ease, reflected with the help of existing ships and fort in books and movies. Walks a lot of tales about pirate states, but pirate, the Republic in Nassau remains the largest. Education that is really was. Marcus does not own the state. A ship called Happy Shipping pirates and really loved. Call your ships Explorer. Stamp among KIR in the 20th century. Analyzed the nickname of the pirates ships in 18% of cases in them. The words revenge appeared 15%. Pirates added a prefix to the name, tramp, and 10 more added a mention. Royalty is a prime example. Legendary ship Queen Anne's Revenge, owned by a Blackbeard and appearing in film Zajika Enemy. As you see in the title, it is immediately mentioned, and place and Queen for the most part. Similar names were chosen for psychological impact on victims, and boat Happy Delivery of our Marcus is no exception. It contains 10 times less than said Queen Anne's Revenge, and holds only 3 dozen crew, but the highlight is that the size is small. accelerates the boarding of Barbarossa and his. The team just take on a ram, necessary ship and on foot through the holds, go for boarding, hence the name about delivery inspiring. Horror often the opponents do not even have a pair. Minutes of preparation time and get in. Such a tiny boat from a cannon almost. Unreal whole movie about pirates. The Caribbean Sea is very well transmitted. Costumes and appearance of pirate teams. The bodies of hard workers were often littered with a bunch of tattoos and not only for coloring after all at that time criminals, often stigmatized. The Spaniards burned the letter P on their bodies. French crown lily. Bourbons on the British were marked with anchors and frequently changing emblems. It is logical to assume that the Marcus team, 80% consists of criminals and, no less logical that tattooed guys, concealed the brand of a criminal inflicted on him. And also, pirates are fucking superstitious. Amulets, talismans, headbands for everyone. Self-respecting corsair had something, like a lead bullet fanning itself in silver or gold to protect against treacherous shot. Bare tooth, guaranteed homecoming anchor. Neptune helped with navigation. They are great. Battle axe, according to the pirates, almost did not guarantee victory in the upcoming battle. In addition, extracted from, they are a piece of a knife or other weapon, should have been taken out and carried in a pocket. Protection belts were loved by pirates, and astrology by wearing your zodiac signs on chain. But perhaps the most exotic detail of the amulet of our twin brother Barbarossa has one, and he has a friend named Anthony Long. The essence of the amulet is just that, a small vessel made of cactus with a drop, the blood of the person you think. Brother pirates exchanged blood, treated the vessel with wax and said goodbye, and if someday Marcus is handed over, comrade's amulet means you need it right there. Drop everything and go to revenue. Pirate brotherhood is not a joke to you. But here is the flag of the Jolly Roger over the ship. Our Marcus is not visible hanging there. The usual flag of England in the hold is available, French, Dutch and all. Some significant state flags, and with them a red flag with a skull, bones and other joys of life. For the black and white Jolly Roger will register in the Oxford Dictionary only in 1724. This is completely understandable because move under it on the high seas is tantamount to hanging a target over own head in the vast. Most of the time the pirates sailed under the flag of their states, because many had Persians and other licenses and a chance to get a volley from a cannon with such. The layout is much smaller, but if we are talking about the robbery of a French ship, easier to get close to him. The distance is just below the French flag, not to give the enemy time to training, and only after the pirate raised one of many existing flags. Each had its own destination in the court journal. Captain Richard Hawkins has a whole explanations on this captured in 1724. The captain declares that if pirates approach you under black Jolly Roger flag, this means that they are generally ready. Consider surrender. But if the pirates approaching under the red flag of chance, there is no salvation and you need to prepare for battle. And again explained that despite all romance, pirates were smart, and the chance to win by attacking suddenly is always the highest. Therefore our Marcus often approaches Spanish ships under the Spanish flag so that no one is anything and did not suspect, but also in the most visible the place of the ship hangs a code signed all members of the team. One of the first who led this practice, legendary pirate Henry Morgan, famous for brutal raids guy. As a result, he was also in favor of the English authorities and even became vice-governor. Jamaicans are all thanks to the punishment code, for the violation of which sometimes it was even lethally every captain could make up own code. And here are Ajika films. Sparrow a little wrong. There is no single document for all pirates. Existed at the request of the captain. Came up with it personally and team members put their signatures. For example, personal. The code of the same Francis Drake was let and unspoken, but thanks to him the reward after the battle even received the last cabin boy. And often Captain Drake remained in the red to encourage every hard worker team sure around. There are pirates and a couple of myths, perhaps the most common drinking guys, like our Barbarossa loved to drink, but on the vast majority of ships in the sea was dry. The work of a pirate is not so simple and requires concentration, and a drunken team could go to the bottom at the first storm. The same applies to gambling. Pirates adored them, but as in the case of booze, we are talking only about stops at ports, and entertainment on land on ships is good. The team was well adjusted mechanism where everyone knows their place. There were also blindfolds, but scientists are inclined to believe that in this way, the pirates prepared their eyes by descending into the dark hold, and the dark closed eye quickly adapted to the semi-darkness. Treasures, and we will not mention because life. You can't name a pirate for a long time, and only a few live to old age and put off something for the future was meaningless. Let's talk better about the same pirate republics in the Bahamas where is located our Marcus in 1706 developed Funny situation, large-scale wars between states ended and they understood, which is much cheaper to negotiate. Table they at sea need to. Pirates in the service of the king from the floor and on. They began to slowly hunt big. A group of pirates concentrated on Bahamas and actually represented from yourself a small state legendary. Edward Teach, nicknamed Blackbeard, is considered its most popular resident was on Bahamas. A dozen more powerful corsairs and all of them were united by one thing, our freedom. Barbarossa raided ships and knew that he could return home to relax and gain strength. The trouble is that the freedom of pirates and ruined the republic did not even have ruler on paper. They were considered Benjamin Horny Guy, but in fact the position did not mean anything. There were no courts of laws in the Bahamas and something beyond pirate freedom. And when in 1717 England, I remembered that I legally have rights to the island to fight for independence was for none of the British, went on an unprecedented step into the pirate republic, sent a former corsair, Woodes Rogers, turned British military. He brought to the Council of Pirates real treasure, amnesty document for all residents, were asked to become subjects of the empire, and the empire in return forgot their sins and asked to live by their own laws. But pirates, the law is not written, and many, including the same Blackbeard, and they refused to carry the overwhelming. Some of the rebel pirates were simply killed, and the survivors either became subjects. British Empire either went underground. And what did our Marcus choose this riddle over? Which you can reason. Comments, and we only note that, despite all the horrors, pirates at least were honest guys. It's not about those animals that are currently hunted, but is it really about the old hardcore pirates of logic who had more than the states? For example, the team ship could easily send a captain, go to hell and choose a new one. So boast of a warship, of course. No matter how stupid leader, people are forced to listen to him and obey. The democracy of the pirates was more than now. Don't romanticize them either, after all. In fact, this is a murderer and a robber, and let it be another matter with your code. That and the times were gloomy. Life is not cost a penny. So in reality, of the Middle Ages, pirates were perhaps the most democratic community on the planet too. New meetings, friends.